What is up, everybody? It is JT Sports. I am back to you guys with another video, and I'm here with my Buffalo Bills 2021 record prediction. Going to be giving you guys my best case scenario, my worst case scenario, and my overall record prediction for the Bills this upcoming season. Before I get into it, make sure that you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel because I upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. Also, make sure that you guys turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I upload a new video. The Bills last year won the AFC East for the first time since God knows how long. The last time the Buffalo Bills won the AFC East, I wasn't even alive. They went 13-3. They went all the way to the AFC Conference Championship game before losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Buffalo this year has a really tough schedule. They have one of the 5 hardest schedules going into this year's NFL season. But I still believe that this team is still a legitimate Super Bowl contender. My best case scenario for the Bills this year is 12-5. The offensive line is solid. You improve the wide receiver position. You already have Stefon Diggs, who was one of the biggest offseason acquisitions for you last year. He balled out last year. He was one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver in the league last year, in my opinion. Then you bring in Emmanuel Sanders, who, although Emmanuel Sanders is up there in age, he's still one of the better number 2 options that you can have. So you improve the wide receiver position. Even though you did lose John Brown, it is sad to see John Brown go because I think John Brown is really underrated in terms of the kind of production that he's had over the last couple of years of his career. But you bring in Emmanuel Sanders, I definitely feel like he's an upgrade from John Brown. Even though he's a little bit up there in age, I still feel like Emmanuel Sanders is still good enough to be a really good number 2 option in this league. Then you have Gabriel Davis, who showed a lot of promise and a lot of flash last season. So you're really talented when it comes to your wide receiving room. Then you look at the run game. The run game, you have Zach Moss there. You have Devin Singletary. Like, it's a mystery that is going to be really intriguing to find out who ends up becoming the RB1 in Buffalo. Because, like, Buffalo's run game was not all that great last year. Now, I think a large reason for that was because they were so dominant when it came to passing the football, with Josh Allen playing on the MVP level that he was last year, that they didn't really need to run the football. But when they did try to run the football, they didn't really have that much success. As a matter of fact, they had a better chance running the football with Josh Allen than they did when it came to handing the ball off to a running back. So the rushing attack definitely has to improve this year. And if it improves this season, then this offense is going to be extremely dangerous. The defense is still going to be really good. You're really good when it comes to your secondary. Linebacker is pretty good as well. My question is, where is the pass rush going to come from? Buffalo didn't really have that much of a pass rush last year, and it was a big reason why they lost to Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, because they weren't able to get consistent pressure on Patrick Mahomes. My worst case scenario for the Buffalo Bills is going to be 9-8. Buffalo has a really difficult schedule. You got to start the season off playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got to go on the road, face Miami, who is also a team that's looking to challenge for this division, who was really close last year. They won 10 games last season. They were really good. You have Washington. You got to face the Texans, which it should be a cakewalk. Then you face Kansas City on the road. That's going to be a really big game. That could be a precursor of this year's AFC Championship game, which is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game when you faced them. So while we're on the topic of, Kansas City and Buffalo, I want to talk about my 2 biggest swing games. Swing games are games that I feel are season-defining games. They can define how a season goes. And when you look at Buffalo, I think their 2 biggest swing games are going to be on the road against Kansas City Week 5 and Week 16 going against the New England Patriots. You look at that Kansas City Chiefs game. That is a game that is going to have a lot of eyes on it. Because you look at what happened in the AFC Conference Championship game last year, and you look at Buffalo this year. Is Buffalo going to be able to get consistent pressure on Patrick Mahomes? Because Kansas City improved their offensive line. Like, Kansas City has one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. I find it funny how Kansas City's offensive line got wrecked in the Super Bowl, and then they just assembled the Avengers of the offensive line. So their offensive line has improved. So has Buffalo's pass rush improved? That's the question. Now, Buffalo can definitely score all the points in the world that they need to be able to keep up with Kansas City. But at the end of the day, you're still going to have to be able to get consistent pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Make him uncomfortable in the pocket. Don't give him time to let these wide receivers get down the field. We know what the game plan is when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Get him outside the pocket and get him trying to play hero ball. When you get Patrick Mahomes to play hero ball outside the pocket and he tries to make things happen, you're going to have the opportunity to force turnovers, which is something that a lot of people don't really talk about that much when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Everybody acts like Patrick Mahomes is this great quarterback, like he's Jesus on the football field and he can't do no wrong. But what a lot of people don't realize is that in that Super Bowl, he was pressing. He was pressing to make things happen. Like, one thing about Patrick Mahomes is when he rolls out of the pocket and he tries to extend the play and wait for wide receivers to get open, he sometimes will try to force the issue. And that's why it's so important for Buffalo to have that pass rush going. So for Buffalo, I think that this is a really big game, and it is really early in the season. So you can't say, well, Buffalo loses the Kansas City, they're not a Super Bowl contender, because at the end of the day, it's way too early in the season. But I think that this is a good measuring stick for, if you are a Bills fan, to find out where your team is at the early portion of the year. Then week 16, you're going to be facing the New England Patriots. This is a really big game because last year, you beat the New England Patriots, and the last time I remember you playing the New England Patriots, you beat them, and you beat them pretty bad. So I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick is coming in here this year with a chip on his shoulder, and this whole entire Patriots team is coming back with pretty much everybody that opted out last season back. This is a really good team that is really stout up front, both on the offensive line and the defensive line. And for Buffalo, the division isn't going to be a guarantee like how it was last year with the resurgence of Palpatine and Bill Belichick. That is the Sith Master coming back, and the Patriots are definitely going to be looking to make a run at this division. This week 16 game is really important because this is the game that pretty much could seal the fate of if Buffalo is going to win this division or if the Patriots are going to reclaim the division this year. And after that, it pretty much is out of your control. So for Buffalo, that week 16 game could define if Buffalo ends up winning this division or not. Now, my overall record prediction for the Buffalo Bills this year is going to be 10-7. Buffalo has a really difficult schedule. I do believe that this is a Super Bowl contending team, but I feel like the regular season is going to be a marathon for Buffalo. I want to see if the pass rush is going to improve, but also I definitely need to see a little bit more out of the running game outside of Josh Allen, because if Josh Allen has to carry the load running the football this season, I don't think Buffalo is going to make a deep playoff run, because part of being able to make these deep playoff runs is being able to effectively run the football. And for Buffalo, when you get into the later half of the year, I think that's going to be really important. Ball control, being able to chew time off the clock in certain scenarios. So my record prediction for Buffalo is 10-7. I think this team is still going to win double-digit games. I don't really see them winning anything less. They definitely could go 12-5 if everything does go according to plan, if the run game does improve and they are able to improve their pass rush. But I still feel like that pass rush isn't going to be as good as what a lot of Bills fans are hoping that it will be. The run game should improve slightly, but overall, I think with how competitive this division is going to be, with the Patriots coming back now, you got to worry about Miami, and you have a really difficult schedule. There's not really any gimmies. Like against Houston, that's an automatic victory. But outside of that, there's no gimmies for Buffalo this year. So this is a really tough schedule. This is one of the hardest schedules in the NFL. And for Buffalo, if you're able to make it through this schedule and you're able to win 10 games, and as a Bills fan, you have to be feeling really confident about your team being able to make a deep postseason run and maybe make it to the Super Bowl this year. Because when you have a difficult schedule, you get tested. So you guys let me know your record prediction for the Bills down in the comment section down below. Make sure that you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.